We will start from metals and non-metals. The progress of human beings towards civilization is linked with the discovery of metals and non-metals. Even today, the index of prosperity of a nation depends upon the metal amount of metals and non-metals it produces and uses. It means that, for example, a country produces a small amount of or a lesser amount of metals and non-metals, so it is not so prosper like that country or a state which produces a larger amount or a larger amount of metals and non-metals it produces. The metallic sources of a nation are of immense value. The discovery of bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, resulted in the Bronze Age. Means that when the bronze was discovered, it was used the maximum as it was the first metal that was discovered, and it was used the maximum because it was the only metal till then. So that period when the bronze was used maximum was known as Bronze Age. This period was followed by the Iron Age with the discovery of superior quality iron. It means that after the discovery of Bronze Age, people discovered iron, which is another good metal, which was the superior quality than the bronze metal. That's why the iron was used at the maximum at that age till it was found. That's why the age after Bronze Age is known as Iron Age. These days, metals and non-metals are used for making tools, machines, automobiles, ship, houses, malls, bridges, jewelry, utensil, electric wires, and many more things. Why do we use metals in using this? Because tools are made up of iron or any other metal. Jewelry is made up of gold. Utensil is sometimes stainless steel. Then uh, in ships we use metals. In bridges we use metals, and many more things we use metals. Now, element. What is an element? A pure substance that consists of only one kind of atom is called element. It means that uh, milk is only made up of milk. In case of pure milk, it is only made up of milk. But in case of uh, mm, any other kind of food, such as um, any, for example, egg curry, different kinds of materials or different kinds of items or different kinds of masalas are added there. So the dim curry is not an element, and the other things used in it are not atom. But in the case of milk, the milk is only the item. It consists of one kind of atom only, is called an element. The smallest unit of an element is known as atom. For example, this is an element. This is a atom. This is an atom. But in an element, we have only one kind of atom. So, this is an element. This is an element. Total is not an element because in total we have two atoms, and in single element two atom cannot be there. So this is an element 1 and this is an element 2. Elements cannot be broke down into smaller units So elements cannot be broke down. We cannot broke it like this, we cannot broke it like this. It is a single material which cannot be broke. Elements are said to be the basic units and the building blocks of substance. Like cells are known as the building blocks of life. Bricks are known as the building blocks of building. Similarly, elements are known as the building blocks of a substance. Now, there are about 118 elements known to us today, out of which 92 are found in nature, while the remaining elements have been prepared artificially. It means that 118 elements are till discovered till date. Now, in them, 92 is being given by nature, and the remaining are prepared artificially. Meaning of artificially? Artificially means that it is man-made or not made naturally. If it is not made naturally, this obviously means that it is made man-made, because no other animal can prepare this. Only man can prepare this. So it is known as man-made. Of all these naturally occurring elements, 22 are non-metals and 70 are metals. It means that in 92, 70 are metals and the rest, which is 22, are non-metals. Now, classification of elements. Lavoisier classified all the known elements into three groups: metals, non-metals and metalloids. What is Lavoisier, or who is Lavoisier? Lavoisier is a scientist who studied about elements, and he divided or classified the metals into three groups, which is metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now, metal. The elements which are hard. Hard means that are not easily breakable. Lustrous. Lustrous means, see this metal, this is lustrous, soft. Malleable. What is the meaning of malleable? That can be broken into sheets. Ductile means it through which we can make wires, like iron wire, copper wire. Sonorous means that if we beat any metal with a hard object, then a sound will be produced. It is known as sonorous. And good conductor of heat and electricity are called metals. Examples: iron, copper, gold, silver and aluminium. Now, non-metals. The elements which are brittle, non-lustrous, non-malleable, non-ductile and poor conductors of heat and electricity are called non-metals. The properties which metals have, non-metals have the same but opposite. It means that metals are hard, non-metals are brittle. Brittle means that are not so hard or are easily breakable. Non-lustrous means which do not have luster. Non-malleable means do not have the property of malleability. Non-ductile means which cannot be ductile. And poor conductors of heat and electricity means heat and electricity cannot be passed through these non-metals. For example, nitrogen, it is a gas. Oxygen is also a gas. Carbon, sulfur and phosphorus. Now, metalloids. The elements which possess the characteristics of both metals and non-metals are called metalloids. It means that, example, arsenic. Arsenic possesses both the characteristics of metals and non-metals. Similarly, silicon, germanium, boron are the rest of the examples. These are the rest examples of metalloids. Now, Occurrence of metals and non-metals. In nature, metals are found to occur both in the free as well as in the combined state. The Earth's crust is the source of metals. It means that metals are either found in free state or are found in combined state. What is the meaning of combined state? It means two or three metals are combined together. The Earth's crust is the source of metals. It means that from the Earth's crust we only get the metals. Less reactive metals such as silver, gold and platinum, which are generally used for making jewelry, are found in the free state or native state. Why it is called native state? Because it is found in the original state or the free state. Reactive metals such as iron, zinc, calcium and sodium occur in combined state because these are minerals. Because calcium, then iron, these are minerals which our body has. See, sometimes some people have the deficiency of minerals or of iron. Some people have the deficiency of calcium. Some people have the deficiency of zinc, sodium. These are metals. So, but these are minerals too. Just like metals, non-metals also occur in free, means oxygen and nitrogen are two examples of gas, but they are also found free in free state as well as in combined state, like phosphorus and silicon are found in the combined state in nature. It means that in nature, oxygen and nitrogen, means some metals or non-metals like oxygen and nitrogen, are found in free state, and in nature only silicon and metals like silicon and phosphorus are found in combined state. Physical properties of metals and non-metals. Now, what are the characteristics or the properties, natural properties of metals and non-metals? Physical state. Metals are generally solid at room temperature except mercury and gallium, which exist in the liquid form at room temperature. Non-metals can exist in the three states. Non-metals are in the three states: solid, liquid and gas, but they are generally found in solid, like phosphorus, not phosphorus but there are many not phosphorus, sorry, there are many other non-metals like pencil is a non-metal, but it is in solid. Oxygen is non-metal, but it is in the gaseous state at room temperature. Hydrogen, chlorine and oxygen are gases. Iodine, silicon, carbon and phosphorus are solid, but bromine is found in the liquid state. So the examples of solid non-metals are iodine, silicon, carbon, phosphorus, but bromine is the only non-metal that is found in liquid state. Now, hardness. Metals are generally hard. Obviously, metals are hard and non-metals are brittle. Hardness varies from metal to metal. Metals such as sodium and potassium are soft, but they are hard. If they were not so hard, then they were not be included in metals. No, they were included in non-metals, but they are hard, but they can be cut easily with a knife. Non-metals are generally soft except diamond. We know that diamond is a form of carbon which is very hard. We know that a diamond can only cut a diamond. A diamond can cut a mirror too. Luster. Metals shine in the pure state. Metals shine in your pure state. It means that if you have buy a new jewelry, it will of course shine. But if you use it after 5 or 10 years, it will see that it is not in its pure state. Rust has been got, or the shine has not been so bright, or it was not in so bright like it was before 10 years. This shining property of metal is called metallic luster. Because of ability of metals to shine and reflect light, they are used for making jewelry. They are used for making jewelry because jewelry in jewelry we use lustrous metal like gold, then silver, then platinum. These are those type of metals which shine, which have the property of luster in statues and decorative pieces. Non-metals are non-lustrous or dull. Non-lustrous means which do not have luster or dull, except graphite, a form of carbon, and iodine, which are lustrous. Malleability. The property by which metals can be beaten into sheet or foil, called malleability. Gold and silver are among the best metals. But I think that aluminum is also a very good malleable metal because we see that there are means we can buy aluminum foils. Aluminum foil has been come from the aluminum metal only because gold and silver are beaten into sheets and foils. The property of being beaten into sheets or foil is called malleability. For example, many metals cannot be beaten, or if they can be beaten too, they cannot be made into foils. That's why all metals do not have the property of malleability. You can see in this picture that malleable metal forming sheets. Now, metallic plates, tumblers and spoons are all examples of metals are being beaten into sheets. Metallic kitchenware are also made up of metallic alloys. No, or else they would broke easily. No, if they were non-metals, they would broke easily. For example, we can easily break a pencil with our two hands. No, into two types or into two. Anyway, non-metals are non-malleable. They break into two pieces when hammered. Similarly, if we take a pencil and hammer, it will change its shape because it is brittle. It is not so hard like that. Now, ductility. The property by which metals can be drawn into wires is called ductility. Silver, gold, copper, iron are highly ductile metals. For example, copper wire, iron wire. You have all of course heard about copper wire or iron wire. Some people which have the strength to buy or make silver or gold, they form or they make silver wire or gold wire, which also have the property of ductility. Now you can see ductile metal forming wires in this picture. Non-metals are non-ductile and break on stretching. Now non-metals are non-ductile. So if we stretch them and start hammering them or start making them into wires, it will obviously break. Now conductivity. Metals in general are good conductors of heat and electricity. Silver is the best conductor, followed by copper, gold, aluminium and tungsten. Bismuth, iron and mercury are poor conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are generally bad or poor conductors of heat. So, in this para, we get to know that metals are obviously good conductors because see, copper and iron in generally wires are made up of copper and iron wires because through copper and iron electricity passes good, or because the iron and copper are leave the example of copper and iron. See that silver is the best conductor. Okay, after which are copper, gold, aluminium and tungsten. You see that in bulbs there I use tungsten. No, in small bulbs, not in tube lights. In bulbs, tungsten wire is used very much because through tungsten wire electricity can flow good. That's why in every bulb tungsten is used or was used. Bismuth, iron and mercury are poor conductors of heat and electricity because mercury and iron cannot flow or does not allow heat or electricity to flow so much accurately as it allows to flow, as gold or copper or silver allows to flow heat or electricity. Non-metals are generally bad or poor conductors of it. For example, if you take a wooden pencil or if a normal pencil too, it will not become it is not a good conductor of heat and electricity because you cannot conduct electricity through a wooden pencil, no. But graphite is a good conductor. Sonorous. Now before I told you that when a when a metal is struck or being beaten or softly beaten by a hard object, a sound produces. This sound is known as sonorous, or this property to make sound is called sonorous. Metals produce sound when they are struck with some hard object. Thus, metals are said to be sonorous. Non-metals are non-sonorous. They do not produce a metallic link. For example, in here, if I do, this is not a metal. That's why not a very good sound is being produced. But if I do with a metal, it will produce a good sound which can be heard by all.